Welcome, welcome, ladies. I'm super excited to be here on this Wednesday where we are talking everything about how to create a six-figure business. So I'm going to share with you exactly what it looks like. So drop it and let me know if you're like, yes, I want to grow a 6K business, or Becky, I'm way past that now. I'm ready to move on to, scaling it and doing all the things. So let me know exactly where you're at, and also why you're here. Share below, what exactly do you do? Who do you serve, right? Who are you? So other people can see that as well, and maybe make a connection, and maybe work with each other. Like, how nice would that be to be able to make connections? So welcome to this live. If we've never met, my name is Becky LaFave, better known as She's in Charge of Business. And I have been helping women. I'm a coach to women that want to take charge, right? They want to take charge so they can amplify their results with my simple system, Amplifying to 6K method. So drop in and say hello. For some reason, I think there we go. Something was a little screwy over here. So welcome in. Let us know that you're here. So today we are going to talk about how I went from literally zero to making 6K this year. And by keeping it simple, I'm just going to keep it real right now, just sharing it right now, the goods. Because if you don't know my story, last year, exactly this week, everything was taken away from me. Okay. So somebody came in and hacked my FB and my IG and all of the things, and my group was wiped out. Everything was wiped out, literally. So I had to do a few things before I literally sat in the corner and cried for about 10 days, hoping and praying. I was trying to figure out how to get it back, which never happened. So if you know somebody, or if this has happened to you, drop it and let me know. And so I really want to share with you what I've done to really create this simple method, right? Because here was the thing, when it was all taken down, because I literally at the time, I had a lot of followers. I had a growing, thriving group. I had so many things that I'd worked so hard for a couple of years. And because you're in the business, it takes some time for growth. It takes effort. It takes commitment. And I was doing all the things right until that came along. But you know what I wasn't doing right? I was overwhelmed. I was a lot of burnout. I was exhausted a lot of the times. So if you're feeling like that, or anywhere around that, drop it and let me know, because I know exactly how you're feeling, because that was me. Because guess what? What do we all do? We look at everybody else's shiny objects. What is it? What is it that we want to, and how do we create this business that we really want? And I got caught up, like most people do. A lot of the women that I speak to and coach, we all get caught up on so many other platforms, the shiny objects. I got to have a website. I did all of this too. And let me tell you, when I give you what I've done today, you're going to go, this sounds so much better, Becky. And it is. And you get to be happier. You get to have not any overwhelm. You get to have a more joyful experience inside of your business. And the cool part is, your clients experience you differently. Your family, your friends experience you differently. But most importantly, you are happier in what you're doing. And that's why we do what we do. Am I right? So make sure to drop in and let us know what you do, so other women can make connections with you and possibly want to work with you in the comments. Okay, so let's talk about this, because I have been able to build, and I want you to recognize too, because before I had over 50,000 followers. My group was almost up to 500 at the time. All these things that was going great for me, right? To now rebuilding. My Facebook account is, I think, about 1,000 followers, and this group is like 205 people. There's not that much. So how did I do it, right? How did I grow this? Where you usually think, oh, I've got to be a big influencer. I've got to have all these followers. I got to have, This is not true, ladies. We don't want a bunch of yoo-hoos on our platforms. Yoo-hoos of people that don't want to do business with us is not our ideal client, right? It's not about, like I said, the shiny objects, the websites, the glittery posts, even though all those things are nice, but it's not what it takes to get to that 6K business, coaching business that you're looking for. Okay. So here's the thing. You've got to get, and I know you've heard this, but are you doing it? There's a difference, right? Because if you're not doing it, I really want you to write this down. Do you have clarity on who you are serving? Like yesterday, I was just talking to a new client of mine, and she was sharing that, yes, she's done the client thing. Like this isn't her first go around. She's bought in the courses. She's done the things. She's been in the struggle bus for a while. And she's like, yes, I've done this client avatar thing. And she starts sharing. And I'm like, I can already tell just by her sharing that she's not clear. Client avatar is the old bro teaching, is not the avatar that you want to learn today. You've got to know who this person is. She's not, 10 or 20 or 30, in between 30 to 50. She's one person. She is one person. And so if you're not clear on who this one person is, I can tell you, next thing is your audience growth is going to be really hard. You ain't going to know how to grow your audience because you don't know the first thing about your ideal, your dream client, your yes girl that's going to say, yes, I want to work with her. You don't know her because you're too busy being broad and not narrowing her down, right? And so that's what I got super clear on. I got so super clear on her, right? And that's when I started growing my audience. I didn't have a bunch of yoo-hoos, right? I knew specifically who I wanted to work with. I knew specifically who I was talking to. I knew specifically who my dream client was and who would say yes, right, to want to work with me because I know how to get them the results that they're looking for. And that's the most important thing. Second off, I started building a community, right? Building a community, nurturing the community, and able to sell, right? And I don't always like to sell, but I always like to say, invite to a sale, right? I invite. I don't go in and go, hey, buy my stuff. Hey, here's my stuff, right? I don't do that. I invite you to things. And if you're the yes girl, if you're like, Becky, I'm loving what you're putting down. You are the girl. I've been watching you, seeing you. Yes, this is how this works out. Now, is there more to that? Absolutely. Is it building these conversations in the DMs? Yes, right? It's knowing all the things behind that scene. But this is in front of the scene that we're talking about. So, number one, we really have to decide. When everything fell apart, I really had to sit in that and go, okay, I have to decide, am I going to continue to do this or am I going to continue to do what I've been doing, which was overwhelmed, hated life, even though I loved the clients that I was picking up, it just was too much. It was too much of all the nonsense to get them. And I needed to be more simplified. I want to be able to celebrate life with my husband and my children. We are now empty nesters. So really, it's me and my husband and my friends, right? And the women that I coach. That is the biggest things in my life right now. Family, my husband, God's in that, right? So you know yours. So we don't want to do all the ish. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on all the things because I choose not to be, right? I don't need to do all those things. Now, if you like to do all those things, that's great, but I don't. And so I chose to get really honed into my own tuition. And because my business partner is God, I asked God, right? What do I do next? What is it that I truly want? And I knew that I have a big mission. I knew that I could make more impact. I knew that I could really serve and help women if they just could see, hear, whatever, all of the things that I was doing, right? But how can I simplify it in a way that I am not overwhelmed and crazy? And that's exactly what I did. Right. Number two, I got really clear. Like I said, I got really clear and decided, how am I going to help these people? How am I going to help this woman? Right. And first of all, when I first started out, just in case you don't know, I've been a business owner for 33 years, a brick and mortar in the hair business. Okay. But an operator. Now I still do that twice a week. I actually got rid of my salon and put a studio inside my home because I'm an empty nester. And so I have these women that I have been doing their hair for years. So they're lifers to me, right? Like we love each other. So if you have a hairstylist that you've been going to for a while, you get me, right? Drop it and say, yeah, I get that, because you love your hairstylist. You have a connection. You have a deep connection with this human. That's how I feel with these clients. So I actually work 2 days doing that and love it. But I also get to have a coaching business that I love that serves women all over the world. So in that period, I started doing network marketing and I grew a fantastic team, but it was all offline. This was years ago. And I decided that I really wanted to learn social media so I could teach people how to use it in their network marketing business, and I fell out of love with that. I'm just not a network marketer girl anymore. I really wanted to get down to the woman that really wanted to hone in and be her own business, have her own coach, be her own coach, like I have been in my own business my entire life. And so that's when I decided to really step in to be a coach. I had to get super clear. I'm not dabbling here and dabbling there. I had to get super clear on what that looked like and how I want to run my online business. I don't run this business online for hair. I run it for coaching, right? My hair business is off on a different side. So I got super clear what I was going to present on social. So I became known as one thing, right? So that's really important. So what is it for you that you need clarity on, that you really need to take a deep dive and say, I'm putting my foot in the sand. This is exactly what I'm doing. This is how I want to create it, right? So that's what it takes. And then number three is audience growth. Like, I don't think this is talked about enough, but one of the things that we've all been taught for many, many years is just connect with anybody. And really, you're doing yourself a disservice, because what I recognized, here's the thing, is what I recognized, less is more, right? You see people that are in these huge groups, right? And they can't even talk to those people. They don't have deep connections with their people. If you're in my group, you probably have had a conversation. You probably have had a DM from me, right? If at any times, you probably connected with me at some point. And so they don't have that direct connection to their people. So their people, one, don't know them. There's a big difference in doing that. And as you have growth, first you want to bring in your clients that are your dream clients. You're not ready to scale yet anyway, right? You really want to be able to bring in those dream clients that are saying yes to you, getting them results, and the results is what speaks for themselves, right? So then you start gathering more and you're amplifying your followings, coming more and people wanting to join, and things are starting to happen. And this does take time when you're doing the proper stuff. You're just not adding. How many of you are in groups right now that are, oh, join this group and join my group and join this group, and there's nothing in there really to grab a hold on? This is why I don't open my group like that, because there's really nothing in there for you to learn, really be a part of, really connect to, right? It's just grab. Well, that's not the kind of business I'm looking for, and that's not what I offer, right? I offer real connection, real support to other business women, okay? And so number 4 is convert to community, right? So you really want to build this community so you can have conversations, so you can invite people into what you have looking at. Now, does everybody say yes at first? No, right? We talk about this. You have to really learn to somebody to trust you, to see the value that you offer, to see that you can actually get them results. Because a lot of times, and if you're like me, I have spent just about $85,000 on learning how to do this coaching online business. Drop in how much have you spent on learning your business? I'm curious to find out. Okay. Because I find that people that are not willing to invest in themselves, but they expect other people to invest in themselves, don't get anywhere in their business, because that's just the money is the energy of commitment. And if you're not willing to commit to yourself, it's that's the energy that you're putting out there. People are not going to do business with you. And that's the truth of the matter. And in the beginning, I thought because I was already a business owner, I thought because of all the other things, and I was already doing a lot of things on the outside world, that I thought I could figure this out. I'm a smart enough woman, which was the biggest mistake of my life, because it took me a lot slower process to learn this, when actually if I would have just hired the coach, but I was all over the place, right? And so I did eventually hire the coach, and it led me to the next, to the next, to the next, and to really finding who I truly am at the core and what I really wanted to do. And I started working towards that. Okay. So number 5 is really continuing to nurture the people, right? Like if you have too many people, so we get what is it, 5,000 friends on our Facebook. Woohoo. If you're on Instagram, it's abundance. Like these people you're just a number. Real people that want to do real business with you want to buy from somebody they know, like, and trust. We say it all the time, but people are not willing to do the work. They're willing to maybe throw up a post, but does it speak to their ideal client? Does their client say, oh my God, she's like, are you in my diary at night? Are you like, seriously, are you in my bedroom last night, Becky? Because you're speaking to my soul, right? So you have to really understand them. And that goes back to what I said, get really clear on who this is, because if you cannot nurture this free community of yours and they feel like this is a safe place to really have a conversation with you because you care enough. It's not about the money for me, but we are building a business. Everybody got bills. Everybody's got bills. Everybody's got to work. We all work for a living one way or another, whether you're a 9 to 5, whether you're in network marketing, whether you're a coach. I don't care what you're doing. We all have bills to pay, and we all have knowledge. We all have this beautiful knowledge that we can share and express and grow, right? It's a me world. It is how can we work back and forth to really support and grow each other and grow your business, right? Number 6, sales. You have to master. This was one of the things that has always been really hard. I had a money mindset problem for many, many years. And even though I've had a successful business for 33 years, I would have never thought this was one of my problems, but it really was a problem for me. I was not seeing my own worth, the knowledge that I had. Because sometimes consciously we know what we know, but we think everybody kind of knows that, right? But you don't realize the knowledge that it took for you to grow that. You think everybody knows that, but once you start talking and sharing, you're like, wait a minute. This isn't common sense. This is really something I did learn and I do support and I can help another. And so your knowledge is powerful and is worth being paid for. And this is the beauty of an online business, right? Because people will pay for your knowledge. Why? To get results faster. Because listen, we're in overload, right? We're in overload all the time. You've got ChatGPT, you've got Google, you got YouTube, you got all these platforms. But here's the thing. You can go and do all that, but when it comes down to it, you still need what? A guide, right? And a guide is a coach. A guide is a consultant. A guide is whatever you put money into to get support from. And that's really the truth of it. So, understanding how to package and market your offer is so important. There is psychology behind this. And it is so important to know this. There is a lot of psychology behind marketing. There's a lot of psychology around um, pricing your package and what you're worth. There's a lot of psychology around it. And, I didn't understand that for years, but once I got it, girl, I got it, right? And so that's when sales started becoming easier inside of my business. And so now I teach that. And I also teach you really how to speak into the DMs, because I ain't all about selling to people. I'm all about figuring out what is going on with you in a way that I could possibly maybe support you. And if there's an opportunity that you're like, yes, I want to work with you, great. This is what it looks like. There is never a pressure sales. I don't believe in the bro shit, right? This is why I called her, she's in charge of business. She's the feminine with the charge is, yeah, the masculine, because what are we doing? We're working. We're out there. We're creating. Creative work, right, is masculine. Being in that soft feminine is really supportive, loving, all of those things. And we get to be both. We get to be both in our business. And so it's so important to recognize that in yourself and really show up and shine for somebody else's light to be shined brighter than yours. That's what this business is all about. So that's how I've been able to go from zero, literally from last year, this time when everything went down, crashed, gone, to rebuilding my business, keeping it super simple. You don't see me doing reels 24/7. I'm not about it. Every once in a while, do I throw out a reel? Yeah, but I'm not about it. I'm about getting directly, DMing is direct messaging, my people that are my dream clients that I personally would want to work with myself as well. So I hope that was helpful. If you got something great out of this today, hey, Mary, nice to see you here. Let me know below, what was your biggest takeaway? What is one thing that you're like, you know what? I'm going to really dig deep in one of these things that you talked about and, check in with my own self and see, am I doing this? Right? Just ask yourself, am I doing this? And just get real with yourself. And if you need more support, reach out to me. I'm here for you. All right. Have a great day. We'll talk with you really soon. Bye for now.